Hello, and welcome back to the Curious Kid Podcast. The beautiful Earth we live on is massive. It is so big that, even though almost 8 billion people live on Earth, there are still parts of Earth that are virtually untouched and unexplored. As big as Earth is, it's a tiny speck in a much bigger universe. It makes sense to wonder if we are alone. Is it possible that there are other creatures, maybe even human-like creatures, maybe even life forms that are more advanced than humans, living somewhere else on some other planet far away?
Mailbag!
Mailbag! Hi, Olivia and Jacob. We are big fans of your show. Thank you so much for all you put into it. Here's a question from my kids. Luna, 8 years old, Solana, 5 years old, and 1.5-year-old Gloria. Is there any proof of aliens being real? Thank you! From Luna, Solana, Gloria, and their mom Natalie in West Glover, Vermont.
This is such a fun topic. I can't wait to learn more about aliens for Luna, Solana, and Gloria. Let's blast off into outer space and explore the possibilities.
Before we blast off, how about you tell us the question of the week?
The question of the week is, what is Area 51 and what do some people think is happening there?
Ooh, very mysterious. I guess a good place to start with this episode would be to define what an alien is, because it has several meanings. The word alien is frequently used to describe people who are not citizens of the country they live in. I'm certain that's not the type of alien our listeners in Vermont are curious about.
They are curious about the kind of alien that comes from another planet.
You're right. That type of alien can also be referred to as an extraterrestrial life form.
The word extraterrestrial means outside of Earth.
Sometimes the word extraterrestrial is abbreviated to the letters ET. There was a movie that came out almost 40 years ago and was very popular when I was a small child, called ET, about a cute alien that visits Earth.
In the movie, aliens arrive in California on a spaceship, but then they leave in a hurry because they are about to be discovered. They leave so quickly they accidentally leave one alien behind. That alien is found by a 10-year-old boy, who then forms a bond with the alien.
That was a fun and entertaining movie. It was really popular, and it opened many people's minds to the possibilities of what might exist outside of Earth. But can aliens really exist that we haven't discovered yet? Many scientists think it's possible. They believe that another planet has to have a few different characteristics to support aliens.
Another planet would have to be similar to Earth. It would need to have an atmosphere and water. It also needs to orbit a star, just like the Earth orbits the sun.
Water is really important for the existence of life, not just for humans, but for non-humans too. And a star would be necessary to provide the light and heat necessary for life to thrive. There are many ways scientists are trying to discover alien life.
Spaceships are being sent into space in an attempt to find aliens, or even just planets that aliens could survive on.
And when the spaceship lands on another planet, like Mars, it often has something called a rover that walks on the surface of the planet, taking pictures and collecting samples to study when it returns to Earth.
We are also examining other planets using strong telescopes.
And it's the discoveries made with telescopes that often lead to the spaceship missions to discover more.
We've also tried communicating with other life forms using antennas.
We use those antennas to listen for any interesting sounds that might be coming from aliens on other planets, and also to send out a few messages to see if there is a reply.
Is there any evidence at all that aliens might really exist?
There is lots of evidence, but despite all of the evidence, it's still uncertain if aliens truly do exist. Let's explore some of the evidence.
The United States government takes the idea of aliens seriously.
The government has discovered mysterious objects. I guess they can be called UFOs, or unidentified flying objects, that were doing things that humans are not capable of doing. For example, the objects would accelerate at speeds that the human body cannot survive, or the objects would be able to defy gravity.
There are so many planets out there that could support alien life.
When I was your age, our knowledge of planets was limited to the planets in our solar system. Since then, thousands of planets have been discovered, and many of them have the ingredients necessary to support life. Scientists suggest that about 20% of the planets discovered could be suitable for life.
There could be life on Mars. Just 6 years ago, we learned that Mars has water.
There could be life on so many planets. Scientists describe the planets that could support life as planets existing in something called the Goldilocks zone. The Goldilocks zone is the zone around a star where the temperature on a planet wouldn't be too cold and wouldn't be too hot. The temperature is just right for life to exist, because liquid water could exist there.
One good example of a planet that might have aliens is called Ross 128b.
Ross 128b orbits a red dwarf star. The reason we think aliens might live there is because we've received strange signals coming from a nearby star. The signals suggest that aliens, maybe even intelligent aliens, might live on Ross 128b.
Hey aliens, if you are listening to Curious Kid Podcast, send us an email over to CuriousKidPodcast@gmail.com.
Oh yeah, please do. We would love to have you as a guest on the show. You can tell us all about what life is like on Ross 128b.
Other evidence of alien life comes from the many, many people that say they have seen aliens or aliens' spaceships.
There have been lots of accounts of alien encounters. Many of them came in the decades just before the movie E.T. came out. The first really popular alien encounter came from a couple in New Hampshire, Betty and Barney Hill, 60 years ago, on September 19th, 1961. They were driving back from vacation when Betty witnessed a light in the sky that was getting bigger and brighter. She told her husband to stop the car so that they can investigate, and so that they could walk their dog that was taking the trip with them. When they stopped, they observed that the UFO had an odd flying saucer shape with different colored lights coming from it. They got back into the car to continue their drive home when the UFO descended quickly toward their car. The UFO stopped about 100 feet above their car. Barney said the object looked a lot like a huge pancake. He said that he saw anywhere from 8 to 11 human-like figures that were looking at him from the windows of the UFO. They said that as they were driving with the UFO overhead, the car started vibrating, and they felt an unusual sensation they had never felt before. They finally got back home, where they said strange things had happened, like both of their watches were no longer working.
People were very interested in the story that Betty and Barney Hill told about their crazy experience. The story found its way into books, TV shows, and movies.
Today, there is a group of about 100 scientists that are collectively trying to search for life beyond Earth. The group goes by the acronym SETI, which stands for Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. Another project, called Breakthrough Listen, is searching for communications from aliens, and has been supported by some of the greatest minds in the world, including scientist Stephen Hawking. The search for intelligent life on other planets continues to this very day. We know so much more than we did just a few decades ago. Who knows? We may be closer than we think to an encounter with aliens from another planet. Okay, Olivia, let's answer the question of the week. What in the world is Area 51, and what do people believe is happening there?
Area 51 is a mysterious Air Force base in Nevada where people think top-secret alien research is happening.
The whole mystery surrounding Area 51 came to a head 2 years ago when people started suggesting on Facebook that they would raid Area 51 to get answers about any alien evidence that exists there. The movement to raid Area 51 gained so much popularity that 1.5 million people from around the world agreed to join the raid of Area 51. One of the hit songs of 2019, called Old Town Road, even has a music video that features cowboys that raid Area 51.
Do we really think strange alien stuff is happening in Area 51?
It seems unlikely, but who knows? Area 51 is an Air Force base where new spy planes were being assembled and tested. It's possible that people confused those unique spy planes and thought they were UFOs, and that may have started the legend of Area 51. People still think that funky stuff is happening there. Some of the popular theories of things happening there include examination of parts of a space aircraft that was recovered in Roswell, New Mexico. People also believe that time travel and teleportation technology is being studied there. I guess when we talk about something like aliens, the mysteries don't only exist on faraway planets, but also in mysterious places here on Earth, like Area 51 in Nevada. Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's podcast, number 152, on aliens.
Great job, Olivia, and great job, Luna, Solana, and Gloria for the otherworldly topic suggestion. The Season 6 finale episode is just 4 weeks away. As a reminder, we are going to answer any questions you have about us or about the podcast for the season finale. If you have a question to ask us, you can send an email to CuriousKidPodcast@gmail.com. Leave a voicemail at 856-425-2324. Or you can send us a message on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You can find the links for all that good stuff in the show notes. Don't forget to give us your name, age, and hometown so we can give you a big shout out when we answer your question. Next week, we will get curious about flamingos for listeners in Athens, Greece. As always, thank you so much for listening and getting curious with us.
These days, work is in trouble. We've outsourced most of our manufacturing to other countries, and with that, we sent away good jobs and our capability to make things. American Giant is a clothing company that's pushing back against this tide. They make all kinds of high-quality clothing and activewear, like sweatshirts, jeans, dresses, jackets, and so much more, right here in the USA. So when you buy American Giant, you create jobs in towns and cities across the country. And jobs bring pride, purpose. They stitch people together. If all that sounds good to you, visit American-Giant.com and get 20% off your first order when you use code STAPLE20 at checkout. That's 20% off your first order at American-Giant.com with promo code STAPLE20.